everybody, I am Tony. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, special welcome to you. Today I'm going to be doing the last in a series of my eyeshadow palettes. This is the large palettes. This is anything, I think, 13 pans or larger. So these are the big daddies. So let's just get started. This is pretty much my favorite company, or one of them. This is Violet Voss's Best Life Original, and it has these shadows in it, and then there are glitters on top. So it's quite beautiful. I can't spend a ton of time talking about everything because there's just too many palettes in here. This is the Violet Voss Best Life 2. So again, very beautiful shadows. This thing came off, and this glitter is messy. I don't like the glitters in these palettes, but I do like the shadows. There are the shadows, and then let me hold the thing on top of it, but that's what the glitters look like. I'm not too much of a fan of this kind of Violet Voss glitter. I had other glitters by Violet Voss that I liked, but not in that category, let's say. Not in those palettes. This is the ABH Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. So this is what this looks like. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, period. If I had to do a top 5, that would be in it. Okay, this is the ABH Norvina Pro Pigment Volume 2, and it looks like this. It is quite a colorful, beautiful color scheme. I really like these palettes. They have a great formula. This is the ABH Norvina Pro Pigment Volume 3, and it looks like this. It quite matches what I have on today, but I didn't use this. I do really like these palettes, even though I haven't gotten the 4th one yet. Next up, I have the Glamlight Cake palette. It looks like, let's see if we can get this out. It looks like this. This is my dream come true in a palette. I absolutely love this. It is so pretty. The colors are so vibrant and so in your face. I just love it. I am a big Glamlight fan. I don't have much from them, but what I do have, I really like. This is the Glamlight Ice Cream Dream palette. It looks like this, and this is like a beautiful pastel rainbow, and that's even better for me. I like this more than I like the cake palette. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit bigger or because the colors are pastel or what, but I don't know. I like this one better, but they're both amazing palettes, so it's so hard to judge. This is my Morphe James Charles, the mini palette. Come on, I don't want the plastic to show. This is what this looks like. It's pretty much every rainbow color you could ever want. Not huge on James Charles or the next person I'll be showing, but it is what it is. This is the Jawbreaker palette by Jeffree Star. This is actually a really pretty palette with a lot of nice colors in it, but I don't use it very often, and I don't wear it on my channel. But I don't want it to go to waste at the same time. This is the Moschino and Sephora collab for the laptop palette. This looks like this. This is one of my favorites also. I know it's huge, but this literally is a great, great palette. It is insanely beautiful. Let me pick up the... is this the right way? I think so. Yeah. Okay. I really do like that palette. The next one I have is the Revolution, Revolution Makeup Revolution color book number 5, and it looks like this. I have in the middle part actually flips up and down, if I can get it to flip. There we go. So there's metallics on top and then mattes on the bottom. Mine is a little bit broken, so I'm trying to be careful with it. Okay, up next. This is the Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette. Looks like this. It is absolutely beautiful. I love this palette. I've done some of my best looks ever with this palette. It is stunning and beautiful, and there's nothing more I can say about it. This palette, honestly, even though I got it at not Rite Aid. I got it at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, one of the two. I still think this is like a dud for me. I love bright, bold colors, but I never ever touch this palette. Like, I've tried and tried and tried with this palette, but I don't like it. I don't know why I still have it, but I think that I just give it hope and hope that one day maybe I'll like it. This is the Anastasia Riviera palette. This is my favorite palette out of all of my Anastasia palettes. I've given it a heck of a beating, and I will continue to do the same. This really is just my favorite color story out of all of them. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but everybody has their own opinion, you know? This is the Anastasia Carly Bible palette. This looks like this. This is actually a really beautiful color scheme. It makes a lot more sense if you pull in another palette with it. It's kind of hard to make a look with just this, but if you pull in another palette with a couple of these colors, you can make some beautiful, dramatic, amazing, glam, whatever you want to do. You can really do it with this. You just have to pull something else in with it. Okay, next one up, that's the end of my Anastasias. This is the Melt Cosmetics Impulsive palette. I really love this palette. I know that it didn't get the greatest reviews and everything, and it went on sale at Sephora, so I got it for a steal, but I love this palette. It is just beautiful. The metallics are amazing, and the mattes are too. I mean, it's just a great palette all around. Next up, I have the I Heart Revolution Sprinkles palette. I love I Heart Revolution's shimmer formula, and this is almost all shimmers, so that's why I got this. So this is a shimmer rainbow pretty much, and it's actually a really good palette, believe it or not. I think the palettes that they make that aren't exact dupes of other things are actually not bad quality, considering their price point is so low. This is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado. It looks like this. I love greens and golds together. So some of these colors are actually green with a gold flash, and that's like my dream come true in a color. I absolutely love greens and golds, so this is up there just because of all the greens in it. Next up, I have the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. This looks like this. I love this palette. It's so fun. The glitter formula in here is actually not bad at all. I actually kind of like it. So there's that. Here's one. This should have been in the last video. I don't know how it snuck itself into this one. This is the Ace Beauté Vintage Dawn palette. It has 12 pans in it. I don't use it very often, but I do love Ace Beauté. Their formulas are great. This, I think, was a little bit off for them, but there are beautiful colors in here that do look stunning. There are a couple colors in here that can come off patchy, but most of it is really beautiful. So I like this a lot. It should have been in the last video though. So there's that. Let me set it somewhere else. Okay, here is the Tarteist Pro Remix. And in the first video I made, I had a little Remix Natural palette, and I couldn't figure out what palette it went with. It was this one. So if you watched that video, this is what I was talking about. This looks like this. I really like this palette. It's a lot of fun. You can make a lot of really cool looks with it. There's barely any mattes, which I love my shimmers. So it's kind of perfect for me. Next up, I have the It's My Ray Ray BH Cosmetics palette. And this I got for basically this little rainbow right here. I didn't get it for the neutrals. I got it for the colors right here. I thought the yellows and the blues and the green, the jewel tones were just perfect. So, you know, I picked it up for that, and I think it was like $3.99 or something, so I had to get it. I didn't have to get it. You never have to get anything, but I just kind of wanted it. This is going on old, but, you know, I still have it. This is the Pure My Little Pony, the movie palette. And, come on, plastic. It looks like this. It's a really beautiful palette as far as colors go. I just don't really use it that much anymore because it's not on my radar. You know, it's kind of somewhere that's hidden and I don't look at it that often. So I just don't use it very often. It's a shame, but it happens, you know. This is the I Love Sarah E ColourPop Through My Eyes palette. I absolutely love this palette. I love the looks you can make with this. It's just beautiful, and this is one of those palettes that I've had for quite a while, and I will pull it out every once in a while because I'll get the urge to. When you have a palette like that, it's totally worth it to keep it, because if you actually think about a palette out of nowhere, that means it's a good palette. So, okay, now we have another avocado one. This is the Avocado Toast palette by BH Cosmetics. This looks like this. It is really, really beautiful. There are some different green tones in here that you really don't see a whole lot everywhere else. And there's some other pretty colors that are thrown into here. So I really like this palette. BH has stepped up their game. They're getting better. Okay, now I guess let's start over here. This is the Kaleidos, what the heck is it called? I can't remember. Escape Pod palette. Okay, this looks like this. It is absolutely stunning. I could have used this on my eyes today, but I didn't. I used a little 9-pan Huda palette for my eyes today. But anyway, this is absolutely beautiful, and I love Kaleidos' formula. I missed out on the Club Nebula palette, and I'm probably never going to get it, which upsets me, but what are you going to do? You know, I have my chances. So, this is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Birds of Paradise palette, and it is really, really pretty. I love their glitters. Their glitters are actually really nice, and the colors in here are just an amazing, beautiful rainbow. Just stunning. Next up, we have the Ace Beauté Oceanic palette, which looks like this. Again, with the green tones, and then the blues on top of that. This is just the most beautiful palette, and then these like periwinkles right here. It's just so beautiful. I really love Ace Beauté, if you guys haven't figured that out yet. This is the Ace Beauté Flare palette, and it looks like this. It's really beautiful, a nice grungy palette that you can do kind of anything with. It's a great fall palette, but you don't have to use it in the fall. You can use it whenever the heck you darn well want to. It's just beautiful. Next up, I have the Ace Beauté Nostalgia palette. It looks like this. This is probably my newest Ace Beauté palette, I think. I believe so. And it looks like this. I haven't dug into this as much as I've dug into the others, so this is definitely the newest one. I got this from BoxyCharm, and I was ecstatic that I got it because this was one of the few that I didn't have. I need to get the Paradise Blooming palette, or the Blooming Paradise palette. I don't know. I don't remember which one it is, but whatever that one is. This is the Revolution Chilled with Cannabis Sativa palette. This looks like this. Again, with the green and golds. This is like my dream. I love this color story, and I like their glitters anyway, so their glitters in here are really, really pretty. The greens and the golds just go together so well in my eyes. I don't know what it is about those two colors, but I don't know. This is the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Palette Remastered, and it looks like this. I have tried to use this palette so many times since I got it. I got it in the most recent mystery boxes from Huda Beauty. I've used this so many times, and every look I do looks horrible. So I don't know what to think about this palette. I don't know. It's not me, because I've seen beautiful looks done with this. It just doesn't work out for me. Sometimes it's my skin tone. Sometimes it's other things. I don't know what it is. Next up, we have the Clover palette by Too Faced. I really like this palette. This is one of the very few palettes I have and really like from Too Faced. This is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. I love having it. I don't really have much from them, like I said, but I do love that palette. And then this is the Chocolate Gold Bar from Too Faced. And then this is mostly shimmers, which again, you guys know I love by now because I've said it 90 times. But I do like that palette, and I love the smell of it. It just hit me. This is the gigantic Too Faced Then and Now palette. I forgot this was Too Faced. I really like this palette. I like how you have the old shadows and the new shadows, and the way they used to be and the way they are, because I actually used to use the original Too Faced shadows, like before I got into makeup, but I went to Sephora and bought some. I got two really, really old palettes from Too Faced, or from, was it Too Faced? I have an old Too Faced palette. I also have some old Urban Decay ones too. Okay, up next we have the Strawberry Dream palette from Lunar Beauty. This is beautiful on the outside just as it is on the inside. Just absolutely stunning. I just have to be careful sometimes because pinks and reds can make me look a little sickly, like if I'm not careful. But it is a stunning, stunning palette. Okay, up next I have the Juvia's Place, the Magic Mini. It looks like this. It is a beautiful palette with some really beautiful duochromes in it. It's probably the best, cheapest palette I got. Like the cheapest good palette that I have. The best bang for your buck. There you go. That's a better way to say it. I absolutely love their formulas, and this palette is perfect for so many things. Next up, we have a Violet Voss palette. This one is the Flamingo palette. A lot of people say this reminds them of the Thirsty palette from Jeffree Star. It reminds me of this because I've just had this the whole time. So I really like that palette. And then I got the See You Later palette, which I think is the number 2 to the Flamingo palette, kind of. This is absolutely beautiful. Also, I just love this. I haven't gotten into it enough because I got it in the dead middle of winter. So there's a lot of tones in here that I really didn't pick up on because, you know, you don't wear corals in the middle of January and stuff like that unless, you know, it's fitting, which it can be sometimes, you know, or you just don't care and you do it anyway. That seems like my type of thing. This is a Hip Dot Zion palette. It looks like this. It hasn't gotten much use from me yet, but I really do like this palette. It's quite beautiful. Alright. Next up I have the Hip Dot C Note palette. This looks like this. This is a different story. I have used this quite a bit. This has some green tones in it, some golds, some blues. It's really, really beautiful. Just beautiful. We're almost there, guys. I'm almost done. This is the Ciate London, the Editor palette, New England. This is another palette that has so many shimmers in it. I had to love it. It is stunning. I can only imagine if somebody made a drinking game of me saying the word stunning and doing a shot, because they'd be so drunk right now. This is the BH Cosmetics Fairy Lights palette. I'm not too thrilled with this just because I don't like the color story that much, but I got it anyway. I think this was at TJ Maxx or Marshall's for like $5, so I picked it up thinking I would use it, and I really didn't. So this one is the BH Cosmetics Color Festival. This I do owe to somebody. I have to get this in the mail like ASAP because it's been forever, but this is just too chaotic for me. Like, I have palettes that are just too much, and this is one of them. Most of those palettes have already decluttered, and they're in the bin waiting for me to figure out what to do with them. Okay, this is the Tartist Pro palette, the original one. It looks like this, and I like this green up here in the corner. That's about it. You know, there's some things you just don't know what to say about them because you just don't like them. And that's the way it is. This is the Eloise the Queen palette. This is amazing. I actually ended up with 3 of these. So, I really, really like it. But I didn't need 3 of them. But anyway, I use this quite often, believe it or not. Like, I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I was so happy to get it. I had no idea who Eloise was or, like, what the deal with this palette was. But I'm so glad that I got it, and I'm just happy to have it. And then last but not least, the Violet Voss Pro Eyeshadows Holy Grail palette. It looks like this. This is my big neutral palette, and I use it for weddings and funerals and special occasions, things like that. And that's about it. So that is my large shadows. So we have went through all my eyeshadows except for the ones that I'm going to find and say, darn, I wish I would have put that in the video, because I'll usually find like 6 or 7 palettes that are in weird places that I always forget to put in. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the series and you enjoyed the palettes. Tell me below like how you like all of them, and did you like the videos? Did you enjoy looking at my massive collection of eyeshadow palettes? Didn't even count them, but I'm afraid to now. But anyway, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here for me. I wouldn't know what to do without you. Wherever you guys are, whatever time of day it is, I hope you're having a great one, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye, guys.